From humble beginnings in Melbourne's inner north in July 1864, the Carlton Football Club has grown into one of the great sporting institutions in this country. After winning the first premiership in the Victorian Football Association, Carlton went on to become one of the foundation clubs of the Victorian Football League in 1897. In this, the club's 150th anniversary year, it's only fitting that Carlton's glorious history is acknowledged. The club shares the record for winning the most premierships in the VFL AFL and has produced some of the game's greatest players. Goliaths such as Coulthard, McGregor, Clover, Valance, Deacon, Hands, James, Nichols, Barassi, Jesselenko, Dool, Southby, Walls, Fitzpatrick, Johnston, Kernahan, Bradley, Silvani, Williams and Judd. Following these stars in the stands and terraces at the traditional home of Princes Park, in stadiums in Melbourne and around the country, have been thousands of loyal supporters dedicated to the cause through several generations. Among them leaders of industry, well-known entertainers and former Prime Ministers Sir Robert Menzies and Malcolm Fraser. Tonight we celebrate the contributions of all who have made Carlton the greatest club in the history of Australian football. The dark navy blue jumper with the white insignia has been a symbol of strength and inspiration and will continue to be for many years to come. Carlton, we salute you.
Stephen Kernahan, simply put, is Carlton. And tonight, with a tinge of sadness, it is my pleasure to introduce him for the last time as president of the Carlton Football Club. Come on, Sticks, come and join us.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Sit down, will you? Sit down, please. Thanks, guys. All right, that'll do you. Sit down, please. That was very good. Thank you very much. I told my brother to stand up and everyone else did. Thank you. Geez, what's not to like? We start off with a bit of Greg Champion, tremendous. Bit of ABBA, Jenny Gleeson would love that. All up into Rocky, my favourite 80s stuff. It was absolutely magnificent. Great to see it. It looks so good from up here, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, to see the Carlton faithful down here and the real faithful up the top, and just great to have everybody here tonight. I had a fairly long and bit of a laugh last night at the last President's function, so I'm going to straighten up, and it's a serious night tonight, 150 years of culture, so just bear with me. It's a serious night tonight. It's a huge buzz in this room tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us for this very special night and the storied history of our great football club, one of the oldest organised sporting clubs in the world. Tonight we celebrate that 150-year heritage and what a rich history it has been. The Carlton Football Club was founded on a shared passion for football, teamwork and a commitment to success, and is all that the old dark navy blue Guernsey stands for. Since our humble beginnings, when the club was born literally in a paddock in 1864, we've had 1,152 players who have debuted for the Blues right here in the room tonight. We have between us, would you believe this, and bear with us, we've got 15,527 games played. We've got 11,122 goals kicked. We've got 3 Brownlow medalists. We've got 64 premiership players. Isn't that bloody great? 31 best and fairest winners, 41 Carlton Hall of Fame inductees, 16 members of the Carlton Team of the Century, 16 AFL All-Australian selections and 5 AFL Hall of Fame inductees. You should give that a bit of a hand too, I reckon. To each and every one of you, I extend my sincere thanks for the blood, sweat and tears you've sacrificed in pursuit of the ultimate glory. Tonight's celebration is all about you. From those who played just the one game, to Craig Bradley, who remains our club's games record holder, having run out an incredible 375 times, and I always say this, he played 99 for Port Adelaide and 20 odd state games. He's played 500 games, which is unbelievable. Each and every one of our players, each and every one of our players, past and present, has contributed in some form, and your service is forever ingrained in the fabric of our club. There was always an unspoken understanding that even as talented individuals, we are nothing without each other. The ideal of the greater collective good, the idea of team, is not forgotten. I can't emphasise that enough. I reckon the soul of this club is plainly in sight for 150 years. Mens sana in corpore sano. My brother loves saying that all the time when he's had a few drinks. The Latin motto that has been part of our emblem for years. The translation means a sound mind and a healthy body. If you think about that for a second, our resolve over the years has been our greatest strength. Our single-minded determination to be a successful club, made up of brilliant individuals playing as a united team. And on that theme, tonight is also a celebration of those who have helped make it possible for our team to run down the race each week, and there are many. Our generous corporate partners and benefactors, those who have served the club as our staff, directors and administrators, those who have studded boots or massaged our players' tired muscles, those who have fed our players or mowed the grass at Princess Park, those who have given of their time to cheer and make proud banners, and anyone who has punched the air and looked up at the heavens when a team kicks a goal. This landmark anniversary year is also for you. Tonight is also an opportunity to reflect on Carlton's triumphs, including the 16 premierships. It's good to have the most, isn't it? That's bloody good. We need to get another one. And I know Mick's working hard on that. I know that. With each triumph comes its own story, and you'll see that tonight, but our success is measured more than just premiership trophies. Our successes are also evident in our achievements off the field, such as the state-of-the-art training facilities at Carlton, the work our footy club does in the community, and of course the work we do as a football club to help the players that come through our doors grow and mature into fine young men who can make a positive contribution to the side. And the current bunch we've got are terrific blokes, I'll tell you. And finally, if I was to talk on behalf of all of the players, I don't know if I should, but I will here because I'm up here now, all the players over 150 years, you might say that none of us has been immune to the highs and lows of elite sport. And over our time at Carlton, we've ridden the roller coaster of emotion that comes with this great game. There have been premierships, plenty of crown lagers, and some of the best moments of our lives. And over the journey, there's been some challenging times. But throughout all those experiences, the one constant, and I really mean this, and I love this stuff, the one constant has been unwavering support, mateship and enduring friendships. And that is what the Carlton Football Club is all about. I'm truly humbled to have played a very minor role in the footy club, the Carlton story, something I will cherish doing this tonight here in my last time. Here's the next 150 years. Have a great night. Go the Mighty Blues. Thank you.
Please now welcome the captain of the Carlton Football Club, Mark Murphy.
Thanks, Craig, and thank you for being here tonight. It's just a phenomenal turnout tonight. So great to see so many, obviously, greats of the Carlton Footy Club, and also the supporters who turn up week in, week out, no matter whether the boys are struggling or going well. You guys are the lifeblood of our footy club. This year, it's fair to say, it hasn't gone the way we would have liked, but the boys are really working hard. I think the last couple of weeks have been really encouraging. The boys are really knuckling deep, trying to play our role for the side, and I think it was turn around really quickly. Still a lot of positives, particularly the young talent we've got at this footy club. Guys like Troy Menzel, Nick Graham, Patrick Cripps, Sam Doherty and Dylan Buckley, I think, are all emerging stars of our current list. We've also had the likes of Dale Thomas come across from Collingwood, Andreas Everett from Sydney, and those guys have added a lot to our club. The courage and the leadership shown by my vice-captains in Simo and Carrots have been fantastic this year. You guys are a great inspiration to me, leading the boys out every week, and can't thank you enough for your support. The navy blue jumper means so much to me, and every one of us players who wear it week in, week out. And it's very humbling to be in this room with so many Carlton greats. It's a true privilege. It's been well documented that I signed a 4-year deal, and hopefully I can play on beyond those 4 years, but consider myself and my whole family's now all Carlton supporters, and love the club so much, and it's such a great honour to be here tonight to share it with you guys. And just from a personal note, Sticks and Swanee, the players love you blokes so much. You wear your heart in your sleeve, and you're a true inspiration to us boys. So I know Sticks will no doubt see you around the club a fair bit, obviously still, but to Swanee, with your future, mate, all the best wherever you go. I'm sure you do great things, but thank you too for all your hard work. Cheers. Have a great night.
The top blue, John Nichols.
Thank you, sir.
John, so many wonderful accolades during a wonderful and illustrious career in this great game. How does it feel to be named the top player of Carlton over 150 years of its history?
Very humble to start with, because Carlton to me has been a major part of my life. I've loved it, ups and downs, but Carlton to me is everything. I was lucky enough to follow my great brother Don to Carlton in 1956. I was lucky enough to play under the wonderful mentor Ken Hands in 1957, who retired early, should have played longer. But Ken was my mentor. I think he had the nickname Solvol, but I tried to follow him and copy him. I couldn't do all the things he did, but some of them I did. But look, Carlton's been wonderful. I think sort of going forward a bit, no social club, the old days, and tonight I've seen some wonderful old faces. They've all got grey hair, if any. Some a bit fat. It's great to see them. But through that era of unprofessional football, which we were, and all the old ones know, train twice a week in the dark, and you know, Mark McClever talks about Sunday mornings. Well, yeah, we had those too. They weren't very good, but weren't very good for the football. But the club was, apart from the best Guernsey in the business, we had in the VFL the culture of being one of those 4 top sides, and we certainly were one of the top sides. And I think really through that battle, and it's still going now, but jumping ahead to 68 to win a flag after 21 years, and the social club had been built then, wasn't when we started. I think where the social club was and where the newsstand is, there was as Ken Hands could probably talk about, there was a hill there with a peppercorn on it, and all of our loyal supporters were there. And it's probably that loyalty and being humbled to be this award, all of those supporters, and I've seen quite a few tonight. I haven't seen a lot lately, but there's so many out there that have been members for 60 and 70 years. And in 68, they all came to the social club and they were crying because it meant so much. I know we're getting close to that number now, but Carlton has been, Melbourne has changed, football has changed, life has changed, but Carlton has been, to me, still Princes Park. even though we've had some wonderful sponsors. And without going into all the politics of AFL and VFL, it was a shame that we couldn't expand the ground because it was an ideal ground, not because it's ours, or city councils or whatever, but it was an ideal position to play football, of a Saturday afternoon, which we used to.
Yes.
And as I said, life's changed. You can't go back. But to me, Carlton, and I know, unfortunately, we won't have time tonight to get around the room to see all the oldies. But in the list of names that were read out in the 50s, when I started, Ken Hands and Graham Gilchrist I played with, and there's a few others there that, wonderful names. I know my brother Don's here tonight. It's humbled to be awarded because the 12 names that were settled down at the finish, everyone had something to offer. And I've always said you can't compare players of any team or any era who was better than the other, because everyone is different and everyone's got strong points and weaknesses. Something I have learnt as you get older and you get into Hall of Fames, you become a better player. You've never played a bad game.
You get faster, stronger.
But that's fine. But look, I'm very proud, very, very proud. And I must say that, Carlton has sort of had a history, good and bad, unfortunately, good and bad teams and coaches and committees. We probably should have had more success in the 50s and 60s. We didn't have good administration. I must pay tribute to, I know it's been tonight, but Stephen Kernahan, the effort he's put in personally for this club sticks. Fantastic.
Hear, hear.
I've paid tribute to Ken Hands, my mentor. People don't realise just how much Ken did for this club back in the 50s and 60s. Before he was coaching, he used to travel Australia with KG Luke. He was always recruiting, he was always wanting something to help the club. He spent an enormous amount of time, recruiting people like Barry Cable and a few others. And I think, unfortunately, at the time, the club was not well administered. We had a split committee, and 2 or 3 players, including Ken, retired before he should have. Graham Donaldson left before he should have. In those eras, we had a good side that just needed a bit of polish, and we didn't quite get it. And I think there's been other times when Kevin Hall said, when George Harris and his mates came in, they did a good job. But I must say that if I had one regret about the image of Carlton, who I love, is the fact that we've probably taken over from Collingwood as being the most hated side in the league. And I say that because I believe that people think we were arrogant, which we were, thanks to a couple of presidents, without mentioning their names. But they were arrogant when we won, and they didn't know how to win properly. And I believe that's the thing about sport. You've got to know how to win and how to lose, and do both of them properly. And we were arrogant, and I think that helped create an image of the club being an arrogant club, which I don't think we are. To the new board, the new president, you've got a hell of a job ahead, because I believe, in the next few years, we've got to make some smart decisions. In the last 10 or 15 years, since 95, whoever the committee was, we have made some mistakes. We have to keep the culture, the football culture, somewhere on the board. Business is important, but football culture, which Sticks has had, and previous ones, I must say, Ian Collins, the amount of effort Collo has put into this club through his whole career since the 60s has been wonderful.
Hear, hear.
His recruiting, his CEOs, his time as president, Collo, fantastic Collo. So thank you to the club, thank you to the selectors. I am lucky because all the guys that finished in that last panel, anyone could be number one and they deserve it. So thank you, and I am very lucky.
Well done, John.
It took Carlton only a few years to become a force, forging a fierce rivalry with Melbourne in the 1870s and dominating the Caledonian Challenge Cup. In those early days, the club's home ground was at Royal Park, but that changed in the 1880s when they obtained permission to use land that became its traditional home for more than a century at Princes Park. The Blues entered the breakaway Victorian Football League in 1897, and after making a slow start, their fortunes began to improve under the control of Jack Worrell, a former Fitzroy footballer of high repute. Worrell has been universally regarded as league football's first official coach. Under Worrell, Carlton improved its position on and off the field, the Blues becoming the first VFL team to win 3 consecutive premierships. Its domination in 1908 was particularly significant, establishing a 19-1 win-loss record that stood for more than 90 years. Worrell left the club at the end of the 1909 season as the Blues went through some tough times, but they were back on top again in 1914-15 as coach Norman Hackenschmidt-Clark led them to successive premierships. In the period between 1904 and 1916, Carlton won 5 premierships and contested 9 grand finals. Throughout the 1920s and 1930s, the Blues were regular finalists without being able to snare another premiership. Their fortunes rested heavily on the shoulders of their 2 star forwards, Horry Clover and Harry Soapy Valance. But it wasn't until 1938 that the premiership returned to Princes Park, with former South Melbourne champion Brighton Diggins leading the way as captain coach. The Blues overcame the Magpies by 15 points in front of a record crowd at the MCG. As Australia joined the Allied forces at war, Carlton maintained a presence in the league. Diggins had retired and left the club, and the Blues searched outside their ranks for a new off-field leader.
We found one in former Richmond coach Percy Bentley. While on the field, an inspiring leader emerged in the tough-as-nuts defender from Corryong, Bob Chitty. Under Bentley and Chitty, Carlton developed into a ruthless combination, complete with skill and strength. With Australia still at war, the Blues made a stuttering start to the 1945 season before storming home to win 10 of their last 11 home and away games to finish 4th. After comfortably defeating North Melbourne in the first semi, Carlton came from behind to down Collingwood in the preliminary final. In what became known as the Bloodbath, Chitty inspired his players to victory in a brutal grand final battle against South Melbourne before more than 62,000 fans at Princes Park. 2 years later, under new captain Ern Henfrey from Western Australia, Fred Stafford's great snap in the very last minute gave the Blues their 8th premiership as they beat Essendon by a point. It completed the perfect season as Bert Deacon became the club's first ever Brownlow medalist. Carlton would produce some great players in the 1950s, notably John Nichols and Sergio Silvani, but the best was yet to come. A Melbourne legend by the name of Barassi was about to resurrect the club. The early 1960s produced a grand final appearance in 1962 and 2 more Brownlow medalists, John James and Gordon Collis. But the winds of change were sweeping through the corridors of Princes Park. Soon after former club dentist George Harris took over as president, he set about the task of raising the Blues from the doldrums.
This time Wayne Richards, oh, look at that, Barassi.
Central to his grand plan was luring the biggest name in the game, Ronald Dale Barassi, a 6-time premiership player and 2-time premiership captain at Melbourne. In Barassi's first 2 seasons, Carlton made steady progress. Barassi moulded the experienced performers, led by Nichols, Silvani, Lofts and Collins, with an exciting batch of youngsters from the country and interstate.
Jesselenko runs into an open goal. Robertson marks from in the centre of the ground.
The likes of Robertson, Quirk, Crane.
His left foot kick on the turn lands in the square to bounce through for Carlton's first goal. There's little scope for constructive attacks, but Carlton clears with Gould passing to Hall.
Walls.
One of Carlton's 2 18-year-olders, Walls beats Blevin under heavy pressure to turn the attack.
And Gallagher.
At the beginning of the second quarter, Gallagher sparks off a Carlton attack.
We're joined by exciting interstate recruits. Jesselenko, Croswell, Jones.
Jones's palm down rolls loose.
And Jackson.
Pivoting just inside the boundary line, he snaps a tremendous goal.
Led by powerful ruckman Big John Nichols.
After making the finals in 1967, Carlton qualified for its first grand final in 6 years when it comfortably beat Essendon in the 1968 second semi-final. 2 weeks later, on a windswept MCG, the Blues broke a 21-year drought to win their 9th premiership by a cliff-hanging 3 points.
From the bounce-off, Mackenzie and Silvani contest the knockout. Blue gathers as Nichols moves into tackle. Over-anxiety brings about faulty handling in the opening minutes. Quirk miskicks but regains possession. Eepers crashes into Quirk, but he snaps a shot. The kick looks good. And it's through. It's to be Carlton's only goal in the second half. The kick is taken from an acute angle, and Kekovich drives it through. An outstanding effort in the gusty conditions. The suspense is telling on Barassi. There's still enough time left for Essendon to snatch a last-second win. 2 minutes into the time-on period, Carlton attack. Kekovich passes to Croswell, who snaps it behind. The siren, and Carlton win the flag by 3 points, 7-14-56 to 8-5-53. Barassi's worries are over. He'd stood down as a player from the final series to concentrate on coaching. Lieutenant Governor Sir Edmund Herring presents the Victorian League Premiership Cup to Nichols, who's played 219 games with Carlton.
Carlton made the grand final again in 1969, only to go down to Richmond. But more success was around the corner for Barassi's Blues.
In the fabled history of this great football club, the 1970 season holds a special place. With Ron Barassi at the helm, Carlton had become a powerful force as the great Alex Jesselenko became the first Blue to kick 100 goals in a season. It was clear from early in the season that the premiership was between only 2 teams, Barassi's Blues and our arch-enemy, Collingwood. While the Magpies had won the opening 3 battles between the clubs that year, no one could have predicted the historic events that would change the game forever. The 1970 grand final is firmly etched in football folklore.
To the wing position on the member stand side. Oh, Jesselenko! Guilty!
It was the day Carlton erased what remains, 44 years after the event, a record half-time deficit of 44 points. Completing the greatest comeback in grand final history, the Blues emerged with a famous 10-point victory, witnessed by football's greatest audience of more than 121,000 at the MCG.
For pure exhilaration and brilliance, Carlton's victory in the record-breaking 1972 grand final was hard to beat. It was a stunning triumph for captain-coach John Nichols, who contributed 6 goals himself from a forward pocket, as Percy Jones did the bulk of the ruck work.
Running on, runs around everybody there. Comes in now towards goal.
The Blues score of 28-9, 177 remains the highest in a grand final, with Jezza kicking 7 and Robert Wall 6 in a best on ground performance.
In comes with a kick, used a bit of weight, down went Young.
Bookending the decade was another gripping encounter between the arch rivals, this time on a cold, muddy MCG.
There's Edwards and Dill going for the punch out to Armstrong, back to Dill.
Oh, Edwards caught Armstrong and it's on again.
By now, Jezza was captain coach, and the influx of precocious, talented youngsters such as Harms, Johnson,
He's off like a rocket.
Buckley, Sheldon
racing into goals and puts it through for the Blues.
Marcoux and Francis complemented established stars Dull, Southby, Mackay,
Good mark to Mackay.
Jones, Fitzpatrick, Keogh and Armstrong.
Around, he's in a bit of trouble, but he's clear now. Carlton away now, he better kick it, he gets his kick up there towards the full forward zone. McClellan's got the mark, it'll be a goal.
Down towards the half forward.
In the end, it came down to one magnificent piece of play to decide the classic contest.
Harms fires at the goals, but he's off target. It's rolling towards the boundary line and Harms almost makes ground. He tips it back to Sheldon, that's a goal! Oh, what a goal!
If you lived and survived through the 1970s, you were blessed to see some of the greatest moments in the club's history. The decade began in tumultuous fashion with the popular Percy Jones taking over briefly as coach. Then the arrival of Hawthorn Premiership coach and captain David Parkin signalled another renaissance in the Blues' fortunes. Carlton continued to attract the best talent from interstate as highly touted recruits such as Ken Hunter, Peter Bosustow, Phil Mayland and Ross Ditchburn joined experienced newcomers from other clubs, Val Perovic and Greg Wells.
Fires the hand pass to Wells. Wells putting in the goal. He'll have a shot and he's got it again.
Using hard work and preparation as his guiding principles, Parkin moulded the group into a fearsome combination. There were many highlights in the 1981 season, none better than the mark and goal of the year by the incomparable Buzz. In a hard-fought grand final against the old enemy, the Blues trailed by 21 points late in the third quarter before finishing all over the Magpies to chalk up premiership number 13.
A beautiful play by Harms. He takes it away from the back. He's breaking clear over to centre half. We got a running shot for goal. This will be a long one. It's a beautiful goal by Wayne Harms.
Great goal. Towards half forward. Mackay flies. Ashman scouts well. 12 metres out and goals.
And this is a vital goal for Carlton. Mark McClure comes in for the kick. There's no doubt about that. It's right through the middle.
The next season, the Blues endured a tougher road to the grand final. But on the big day, against another arch rival, they answered every challenge presented by Richmond to complete another glorious season.
There's Bosustow, what a mark. He quickly plays on. And he goes for a hand pass to Hunter. It could be a goal coming up. Yes, it's a goal.
Bosustow in front. And marks! Oh, I thought he should have played that one. Ashman has a snapshot in the meantime, and he's put it through, so it doesn't matter.
Allen comes there, and the mark couldn't be taken by Dunn. Tapped on by McClure very smartly. Over to Marcoux. There's the one that counts. And that's the goal. I would say that's the premiership for Carlton for 1982.
The middle of the decade brought another change of coach as former skipper Robert Walls returned to the club. Again, the Blues went on a massive interstate recruiting spree that lured Kernahan, Bradley, Motley, Nayley, Dorotich and Evans. This influx of talent and fresh approach at the top brought immediate results as the Blues rose quickly up the ladder. Carlton played off for the flag in 1986, and the following year, setbacks to much-loved teammates Motley, English and Evans provided much of the inspiration to turn the tables on the Hawks in the grand final.
And young Pritchard, Bradley knocks it on, great pace Bradley, he straightens up, he fires, it comes back, and he goals.
Daly just runs away from three Hawthorn players, he's going goalward, Mark Daly, he's put it through.
and see if they can come back. Half forward, here they come again, the Blues. Kernahan now gets into the action. He kicks a goal, is it another one? Yes, goal.
Towards half forward, Brereton playing from behind. Reece Jones, a touch of arrogance about that. Brilliantly done, Reece Jones.
This time, it was another high-profile recruit. David Reece Jones, who was the hero as the Blues powered away in searing heat to notch their 15th flag. After a 5-year absence, David Parkin returned to Princes Park and quickly set about lifting Carlton back to the top of the ladder. A new crop of youngsters led by Kutafides, Ratton, Brown and Christou were under his control. And a few experienced players from other clubs, Spalding and Hogg, had also been lured by the Blues. But the best of the recruits was a nuggety centreman who had briefly played with the club's reserves in the early 1980s. Greg Williams would have an immediate impact as the Blues returned to finals action in 1993. After winning the first night final under lights at the MCG, the Blues made it to the grand final. The next season, Williams earned his second Brownlow medal, becoming only the 4th Blue to earn football's highest individual honour. That triumph and Bradley's brilliant goal against West Coast were just some of the many highlights.
The crowd rising as one. McKay, back to Bradley. What a goal this would be. Banana kick by Bradley.
That might be the goal of the year. With the bitter taste of defeat in 1993 and 94 still lingering, Carlton started the 95 season determined to make amends. After winning the first 7 games, the Blues slipped up twice before beginning an unbroken 16-game run that culminated in a record 16th premiership. On grand final day, the Cats were demolished with clinical precision.
Now passes in towards the forward pocket region. He wanted out of Silvani's too good. Away he comes.
Rotating between midfield and attack, Williams starred with 5 goals to win the Norm Smith medal, while Kutafides was a close second. 4 years later, Kuta would be the hero again, this time in a remarkable preliminary final. Starting as ranked underdogs against flag favourite Essendon, Carlton won a heartstopper on the back of some Kuta magic.
Where they need a big mark. A huge pack of players. Waiting down in front was Rice. His kick is a puller. Straight to Wallace. The mean bad man can cover himself in glory. He's lost it and Murphy takes it away. They are into the grand final.
The start of the 2000s heralded the emergence of Kuta as one of the game's superstars.
Inspirational stuff, Anthony Kutafides.
But the retirements of club greats Silvani, Bradley, Ratton and McKay hit hard.
Slowly but surely, the Blues rebuilt as a talented group of youngsters joined the club. Murphy, Gibbs and Cruiser gave Carlton a glimpse of a brighter future as the club welcomed a champion from the other side of the country. Chris Judd decided to return to his home state at the end of 2007 and nominated Carlton as his preferred club. Judd won the John Nichols medal in his first 3 seasons with the club and took out his second Brownlow medal in 2010 after finishing second in 2009. With new coach Brett Ratton at the helm, the Blues returned to finals action in 2009, winning their first final for 10 years in 2011. Now, with 3-time premiership coach Mick Malthouse at the helm, the Blues have set their sights high on returning to where they belong, at the top of the ladder.
Plays on, hands to Murphy. Block showing peas for the Blues. They're hot as they've ever been all year. Murphy sidestep 3.
2 bounces and a third, runs to 50. Oh, don't tell me, he's kicked it as well.
Wait from 5 deep, goes up. Mitch gets in, and Taylor was down, and you can put down the
It's an amigo that'll finish it off. Kick it, Jeffrey. He does. Carlton are on their way to Sydney. Yes, it's the Blues, and Mickey Malthouse is going to create a bit of coaching history here today.
I am training at dawn.
I am Saturday afternoon.
I am front row every match.
I'm letting nothing stand in my way.
I am rain, hail or shine.
I am a force to be reckoned with.
I'm screaming till I lose my voice.
I am victory.
I am backing my club with everything I've got.
And I am Carlton.
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 I am Carlton.